Hi folks, this is Danny at Bradley James Classics, and today's classic is a rather wonderful example of a Austin pickup from 1970. Now, people would just usually refer to these, of course, as a Morris Minor pickup, but this one's actually badged up as an Austin. Now, that was the case because when the Austin A35 ceased to be, they didn't not want to have a little Austin commercial in the range, so they started badging up what was clearly the Morris Minor pickup, calling it the Austin. From 1968 they were 8 hundredweight vans, and previously there'd been 6, and they achieved that by putting larger rear coil springs. Now the van, the panel van and the pickup, they're different from the saloon car in that they did actually have a separate chassis, and one of the obvious benefits of a car that's been once completely restored and then just a couple of years ago a partial restoration, this means this is very much ready to go and enjoy straight away. It's never going to be for the purists because it has had some modifications carried out. Now, the previous owner, who has been bringing this car to us for approximately 10 years, has owned this car since 1975. It's about 5 years old when he bought it. And it's fair to say it's very much a part of the family. However, the decision has been made that she's not being used anymore like she had been. And you'll look back through the MOT history and you'll see there's some years that this little Austin van has covered many thousands of miles in between MOTs, so it's very much been used, and I can assure you it's been very well loved. It has taken part in a number of charity rallies, which has been overseas and around the UK, across Spain, France, the ones I know about, and therefore when the car left our garage, because we also own a classic car vehicle repair garage here in Hampshire, we've always made sure the car's been fully industrialised so it is capable of those long, arduous journeys, and it's always completed where many cars haven't. So this car has always been known for its reliability. Now, the paintwork is in really nice condition, as you can see. It is all the same colour everywhere. It's held up well since it had a major restoration many years ago, but it is a Persian blue, or sometimes known as a mid blue, and it's a very popular colour for this particular commercial vehicle, but it really does suit this particular little Austin right down to the ground. Now, there really isn't any real noticeable difference between a Morris and an Austin van. It's just come to me as I've looked at it. The difference that you can tell visually, if it didn't have that Austin badge on the front, is that actually it's the Austin that has what they call this crinkle cut grille, where if you look at the Morris version, they're slats more like a Morris Minor car. So just a small point. Now, while we're talking about little nitty-gritty items, I can tell you that because this car is very much an everyday working classic, it does have a 1275cc A series engine. It's a Morris Marina engine, and that does allow the car to keep up with traffic. It does have a disc brake conversion on the front with a servo assisted brakes, so it stops well, and it has got a Ford Type 9 gearbox conversion, so it's got 5-speed gearbox, which really does help with the higher speed cruising, and pretty essential if you're doing the long runs that this little car used to do. So it really is ready to jump in and enjoy as is. It does have an auto leg switch. It has got a larger battery than standard. It does run an alternator dynamo. I think that's pretty much covered off the bulk of the additions to the car. Now, I have a breakdown of let me see, I've got £10,700 invoice that my own garage carried out back in 2021. Now, that was to have the and there's some photos of this actually. The whole rear tub came off, and then the car was industrialised in that the back end chassis rebuild using 1.6mm plate, which is heavier duty than the standard. and then basically repaint the chassis, so you're not going to be needing to deal with any corrosion issues probably for the useful lifetime of the rest of this vehicle, because it has been beefed up very substantially. Now everything has been sorted out, and as I say, there's a photograph showing that work, and there's an itemised bill of all the work that was done. All the rear plates were taken out, riv nuts are used to fit the rear plate down in the back of the cab. Now I'm showing it with its original tonneau cover on, which looks really good, but it has got a nicely supported rear floor, and all of the back has been painted out in black stone chip, so it's really practical. It would be welcome at any car show around the country for its rarity, but this is not a concours vehicle that was built for showing. It's a vehicle in beautiful condition, which has actually been built for using. So you will be very impressed with the way it goes, because the 1275 engine makes quite a difference. It's got the larger 1.5 SU carburetor on, and it does motor very nicely. You can actually happily cruise at sort of 60-65 miles an hour, and I think if you was in the standard 1098 engine, you'd probably be lopping a good sort of 10% off of those numbers. And it does stop very well thanks to the disc brakes. Now it has been incredibly well maintained with no expense spared over the years. As I say, my garage has been responsible for looking after it for the past 10 years, and I can tell you that the car has always been maintained very well. Regular servicing, and it hasn't wanted for anything. Now it will come with a fresh MOT. The MOT will be added on point of sale, and I think you can look up on a DVLA system to see how the MOT has fared over the years. It will have some bodywork imperfections, and I'm getting quite closely, and I'm going to show you one or two areas. In fact, this side of the back panel is in very good order. We've got a little bit of a scuff here, nothing major, but it's there. A little bit of cracked paint at this point. This door's in good order all the way through. The bottom is solid underneath, especially the back end. This wing is in good order. A good front bumper, a good front panel, a good bonnet, nice matching paint. It's nice and shiny. This corner, good condition, no bubbling around the headlights, which can be quite useful. A good solid offside front wing. Same with the driver's side door. This side of the tub, again, if I get it closely there's a bit of a chip in the paint, but nothing dreadful. And as I go around and head towards the back panel, that is rock solid too. Tonneau cover. If I can see if I can lift a corner or something, you'll see inside the spare wheels present that goes underneath there. But you'll see what I mean about all the stone chipping that's been done through the back to make it really rather solid. Now looking inside, she does retain the original steering wheel, and that's an Austin badge. The seats are in pretty decent condition. In fact, they're pretty excellent considering this is a vehicle which is now over 50 years old, remarkably. Nice through the dashboard. We've got some proper Morris Minor period mats in the front. There is a Sony stereo. Otherwise pretty standard through here. We've had a conversion and a multi-switch at the side, and this will allow you to have the horn built in rather than the push button here, which were prone to failing. And I think we've got a temperature gauge, and I think I mentioned underneath here we do have an auto elect switch to turn off the electrics. Headlining, it would have had this carpet fitted at some stage because the vans of course used to have a rubber mat, but very good and honest under here. I'm going to give you a little look at the engine bay while we're looking around the car together. Just need to pull on a little cord there. These are very useful. These are the Lucas style wing mirrors, rather than the large ones that were fitted. These ones don't get as affected when you're driving faster, because the other ones were just sprung mounted, have a tendency to fold in. And here we are, so engine bay nice and solid, all stone chipped here. This hasn't been tarted up in any way. You'll see there's a quality blue base pump here. I think I mentioned it was running the alternator. That's the engine, all the correct colour. It's very solid underneath, and you'll see there's quite a nice stainless steel front pipe here with a flexible to take into account that of course you have got a different down pipe and a larger pipe system through there, so that works very nicely. It's got a nice exhaust tone. Good electrics. An auto electrician did install the auto elect switch, so you can conserve power when it's not in use, and that actual switch is located underneath the dashboard. Let's just pop that down. So to summarize, this is a highly usable, could be your everyday modern classic, everyday working classic. It is in superior condition, it is solid, it does drive extremely well. Now this is probably priced at about £10,000 less than a fully restored car. There have been one or two of these sold recently and they've reached some very heady heights, but this one is very sensibly priced for the condition and certainly what it would cost you to get a cheap one bought and looking like this. This would be a fairly significantly cheaper way of achieving a Morris Minor pickup if you wanted a solid one, especially one that goes as well as this. It's going to be a wrench for the previous owner to let this one go, because he has had it since 1975 and he's been loved, and it's actually my landlord who was the previous owner, a lovely gentleman who's I know he and his family are going to miss this little truck very much, but the time has come to let her go. So he's very aware that his loss is going to be someone's gain, and I would be very happy to personally recommend this little truck. I've probably driven a fair few miles in it myself, various little missions of picking it up and dropping it off and taking it through my workshop. So it currently reads 22,000 miles, but we must take into account that's been round the clock once, as the DVLA system will show you, but it's also got a different engine from when the car was supplied new in March 1970. So the 22,000 miles on the clock is referring to 122,000 miles, and then of course there is the small matter of the fact that it has got a Marina engine in, so we need to take that number with a pinch of salt really. There is fairly limited paperwork with the car because this was actually a working vehicle on the farm. A lot of the invoices for the upkeep have actually been incorporated into the farm's accounts, so I'm afraid there's fairly limited paperwork, but obviously the basic stuff like the current MOT will be available, and the logbook, and certainly the invoices which are available for my garage. I have a copy of them on the system, and the one for the recent £10,700 spend on the refurbishment of the chassis. I can't think of a great deal more I can add, other than the fact that the car needs to be seen to be appreciated. It is by no means a show-winning concourse car, but it is in extremely solid and highly presentable condition. Comments wherever it goes, people seem to love this little truck around this village in this area of Hampshire, where it's a very well-known little truck. So we can help with UK delivery at a very sensible rate. We can also make sure the car comes to you having been fully PDI'd, which is a pre-delivery inspection in our own workshop. The car will come with a fresh MOT. That's done at a independent garage not so far from us. We can look at the potential of a part exchange. We'd need to obviously have a few details to be able to give you an idea of what we could allow for your existing Classic if you wanted to do that. And there's even the possibility of a part exchange with potentially a modern car or a light commercial. Now, we are based in Overton in Hampshire. There's a railway station in Overton, and our premises is a short walk from the railway station, or you can come to us via the M3, Basingstoke, or the A303, which is near Whitchurch. So we're quite easy to find, even though we are in the middle of the countryside here, and you would be very welcome to come and have a look at this car. You'll see how solid it is underneath, and obviously with that fairly recent underbody restoration, you will not be worrying about corrosion issues for a number of years to come. But these are a rare car, they are popular, and in our experience, whenever we've had something as nice as this, they tend not to last too long in stock. So if you are interested, please get in touch, and I'd be more than happy to spend some time showing you this lovely little Austin. And as I say, if you would like to have this car delivered, we can help with a very reasonable transport quote anywhere in the UK. So folks, thank you for bearing with me as I've shown you around this lovely little Austin pickup truck from 1970. It's been a pleasure to show it to you, and I hope if you are interested, this might be a lovely little commercial you could consider. Take care, and thank you for watching today's video. Bye now.